We have a very special guest today, Jasbina Ahluwalia. She is founder of Intersectional Match. This is one of a kind dating service for the Indians and South Asians in the United States, I should say North America. And we are going to talk about dating business, what is happening in the dating market for Indians and South Asians in the United States and Canada. Jasbina, thank you very much for coming to our studio.
Pleasure being here, Pindra.
And we are very, very happy to have you here. And this is the first time in this studio we are going to talk about dating.
Wonderful.
So we are going to have a great conversation about that.
Yes, okay.
So before we start our conversation, if you can give us some sort of an elevator pitch.
Okay.
What is Intersectional Match?
So, as you mentioned, Intersections Match is the only North America-wide, so we have clients in the US, we have clients in Canada as well at this point. It's only North America-wide personalized matchmaking and online dating support company focused on South Asians, in North America. So what we do is a couple different things. We have a couple different core services. So one is a personalized matchmaking, and that's where we're helping people really hands-on make one-to-one matches. First, get to know our clients really well, then make one-to-one matches. We do the legwork in terms of finding, searching, screening. Then we put the two people together to get to know each other and see what kind of connection they have.
So now for the matchmaking,
Sure.
you can have matchmaking only for the dating. You can also have matchmaking for the marriage as well.
Okay.
So how that works?
Sure. So
what is
I'll
the more
tell you.
demanded aspect?
Well, now the people, so it's a self-selected
No.
group of people that we're working with, right? So what we cater to are the people, commitment-minded, relationship-minded people who are looking to date as a means to finding a life partner. So their goal is a life partner. Their goal is not to date casually. Their goal is not to date, recreationally, I would say. So it is, and the idea of dating is just to assess compatibility, letting time and interaction reveal that. So in terms of dating, that's where that comes in. But the people who come to us, they are looking for life partners. So it's, in that sense, definitely matchmaking, not dating for the sake of dating.
Okay.
No.
Now, how long? When did you found this company?
Sure, 2007.
2007.
Yes.
And how the going has been so far?
Oh, it's been great. But I knew when we started this, we did market research, and we knew when we started that this was a great demand. A generation ago, the idea of getting to know someone over time to figure out if you had that compatibility for the long term, that really didn't happen. We had arranged marriages as a more traditional route to go.
Sure.
And, most of the generation above, they did that. The people who come to us they're proud of their heritage, they are proud of who they are looking for, getting to know someone with some time and interaction before making that commitment of marriage. So in that sense, they're not looking for arranged marriages. What they're looking for is to find people with real potential to be those life partners, and then to take the time to get to know that person and let each other reveal who they are, not in terms of biodata only, but in terms of time and interaction and going through experiences together to learn if you really have it for the long haul.
Sure. Now, you studied philosophy.
Sure.
And then you have
Yes.
a law degree and
Yes.
you were a practicing attorney.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What made you the switch to this market?
Sure. Well, to go, the philosophy, I think is very, sometimes people ask, how did you go from philosophy to what you're doing? And I think philosophy is actually very related in terms of, I fell in love with philosophy as an undergrad, and part of that was just I liked the big questions, right? In terms of the meaning of life and what things mean. Like that spoke to me in terms of, and so I say we're still asking those big questions with respect to the high stakes marriage partner. So I think it actually is very related to that. In terms of why I as you mentioned, I practice law in San Francisco, I practice law in Chicago. I very much enjoyed doing that. Got to a point though where I was, I felt, is this what I want to be doing for the rest of my life? And, my gut I was billing hours in an office, and, my gut said, I'm not sure. And I also wanted to look at life from a life design point of view in terms of, I was looking and I said, okay, let me step back and let me think about this a little bit. What would I really like to be doing? And I thought, what I want to be doing is creating a venture that had meaningful impact on people's lives. Like that was important to me. That aspect of law, having meaningful impact on someone's life. That's what I wanted my life's work to be about. In terms of from a personal point of view, I very much wanted to be a hands-on mother. That's something I knew. I've always liked little kids, and I knew that was something where I wanted to head in terms of being very hands-on with my kids. I didn't see being hands-on with my kids very consistent with sort of the billing lifestyle and that kind of thing.
Now, before we move to the next one,
sure.
How you got married? Was it arranged marriage or love marriage or how?
Yeah, so that's a great question because this resonates with a lot of people who gravitate to our services in that I was, don't date, don't date, don't date. Okay, get married. So that is a very common refrain that a lot of us, I say second generation, people born and raised in the West from parents who immigrated from abroad, a lot of us grew up with that idea of,
Now, did you were born here in the U.S.?
Yes, I was born in the U.S.
Okay.
I was born in the U.S. to parents who immigrated from abroad. So this whole idea of don't date, don't date, don't date, okay, because early dating is discouraged, right, in our culture. So this idea of don't date, okay, time to get married, right? Now that works very well when the idea is you don't date, and then you have your marriage arranged for you, that works fine. But that didn't resonate with me in that I really, I found myself, I focused on my studies, I focused on my career, I focused on my friendships, I focused on my family, focused on my interests, and all of that was great. I think taking that time to invest in yourself makes a lot of sense, right? I'm an advocate of taking that time to invest in yourself. But then when it became, then I was in my late 20s, and then I was ready. Then I was ready for, a relationship leading to marriage. I felt ready at that point. I felt like I'd done, a lot of things I wanted to do. Now I'm no prospects in sight, right? Because I really didn't date all that much, a little bit, but not really much. And I didn't want an arranged marriage. So that wasn't a path that resonated with me. I really wanted to get to know someone over some time, see if we really had it to have that partnership, the kind of partnership, the vision of partnership that I was looking for. That's what I wanted to have. It wasn't, for me, marriage in and of itself was of limited value. Marriage to the right person, that's where the joy in life is. That was my viewpoint. So for me, what that meant for me was I really said, okay, let me now, just as I put focus on my studies and all of that in the past, let me now focus on finding this person for me. And I did many things. I did, met people in all different ways, online dating, everything.
Did you use yourself online dating?
Yes, of course. This was before I started the company.
Sure.
I got married, and I started the company after I was married. So yeah, before I was my own experiment in that sense. While I was practicing law, I was doing my, getting.
That's where I was going to ask.
Absolutely, it was while I was practicing law. So I very much So clients who come to me leading very busy professional lives, which is a typical client who comes to me, I completely understand that, right? Because we have a lot of demands on our time. A lot of professional demands, a lot of professional responsibilities. At the same time, we are, exploring this area of our life if we're taking it upon ourselves as opposed to going to arrange marriage.
So my next question is that some of our viewers or readers may not be familiar with Intersections Match.
Sure.
How it is different from Shaadi.com, for example?
Sure. So Shaadi.com is an online dating site, a kind of matrimonial site.
Oh, it's a matrimonial site.
It's a matrimonial site,
sure.
Yes. So what we do is we have, as mentioned, the personalized matchmaking. So we are making one-to-one matches. It's very personalized. What we're doing is a high-touch, personalized service, getting to know our client, and then going out there and finding the people. It's like a headhunter recruiter for your love life in that term. It's very high touch, highly personalized. We're screening people for our clients, and we are introducing them. So they get, I say, like silver platter service. They get someone right in front of them. This is someone who has been screened for you, has been searched for you, and has that potential. Now get to know this person. So number one, it's a highly personalized service in terms of. Now we do have online dating support strategy, which is where we have our clients on the Shaadi.coms, on the Match.coms, on those sites. We encourage our clients to use those sites, and then we have a whole team behind this. So first, our team is helping our clients create an authentic and appealing profile. We're helping our clients with their pictures, because if you go on any of the online sites, Shaadi or any other site, you'll notice a lot of pictures, a lot of profiles start to look exactly the same. And there's nothing, the pictures sometimes are not, the profiles start to look exactly the same. Kind of a list of adjectives or, and it's not there's nothing differentiating there, right? And you can get lost in the volume. So what we like to do is find things that are, differentiating our clients and really differentiate our clients online so they rise to kind of the top of people's searches.
So what are the three things you really look for in your clients that they must have?
hands down, motivation. They must be this must be a high priority in their
Being
life.
motivated for the relationship, general motivation in life.
Well, our clients tend to be achievement-oriented, highly successful people. So I will say that and that is a good point, because that achievement-based mindset, that goal-oriented mindset, is something I like to funnel into the personal life. So I actually like to see people that have demonstrated that.
Okay.
Clients who come to us tend to be those people, so there's a great overlap. So I am having those conversations sometimes, like, hey, in your professional life, you did not get to where you are right now by taking that mindset, that attitude. And so we are funneling that into the personal life. The personal life is no different. Once you decide you're not going the arranged marriage route, then we're going to be proactive. We're going to
motivation is one.
Motivation, or just highly prioritizing their personal life. Let's put it that.
Sure.
Motivation, highly prioritized. And I will say that's the biggest asset for anyone. Sure. So in terms of that, if someone I like to think if someone has that and has a level of introspection and a level of self-awareness and is open to hearing different perspectives, because we all have blind spots, right?
Sure.
And a lot of our clients, like I said, achievement-oriented, a lot of them are surrounded by a lot of people who are saying yes to them, right? Yes, 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 you're right, you're great. I'm the person sometimes in their life that's saying, yes, you're great, but you know what? Let's look at it in this point of view. Or you know what? You might be missing something here. Or you know what? And I'm challenging them. And sometimes I'm the only one that's challenging them, really,
sure.
right? But I earn that with them, right? And so I will say, really, that's the one, being highly motivated and being able to, look at things being open to looking things in a different perspective, and being open to hearing what one's blind spots, being open to some constructive feedback. Those two things are the biggest assets anyone has in terms of, I think, in life as well.
What about in terms of, there's always a risk with online, services and people who provide the information. Have you come across that people might have submitted some fake pictures, fake identities?
Online, sure, there's misrepresentation online. Frankly, there's misrepresentation, with arranged marriages. I'm sure, unfortunately, you've heard of situations
Sure.
where people have had an arranged marriage and later they learn things that, wow, nobody really knew.
How do you screen them?
How do you see it? Well, we don't screen online.
Okay.
Right? So we are online, we don't screen the people online. In terms of us, we do run criminal background checks. I do screen people, I do ask questions, and we have never really had anything backfire. And I think because it's a small world to some extent, right? Indians are 1% of the population. So even though, and sometimes we forget that, I think, in some of these populous areas where there seems to be so many Desis around,
sure.
We still are a minority. And I think it can be a small world. So I find, people are quite honest in terms of working with us. And when I screen people, it's going to be found out. Someone can say online, they can say, oh, I'm 5'9", and really they're 5'7", which is something that happens, often, actually, right?
Sure.
There's certain things that tend to be sort of, the truth is stretched.
It's stretching the
height
truth, yes.
and height, sometimes age, sometimes all of those things. But I say, trust yourself enough that when you and that's why time and interaction is important too, right? We all know what the other person wants to hear. So if someone goes and approaches this like, okay, I have some questions, if this person gives me the right answers, it's a go. I think that's very counterproductive, because first, a lot of people know what the right answers are. So it's, I think there's no substitute for taking some time and interaction and letting things reveal itself, instead of kind of having sort of a biodata approach of, here's my biodata, here's yours, it matches, let's go. Right? So again, time and interaction, I think, is the best insurance against sort of misrepresentation, which you said can happen online, can happen in arranged marriage, can happen anywhere, right?
Sure.
So, trusting oneself, also to have eyes wide open to things, right? I think sometimes it's misrepresentation, but sometimes people also, they hear and they hear things, and sometimes they're thinking, oh, they kind of bury it, right? They kind of dismiss it, or they kind of think, oh, maybe and that happens often.
So the profiles you get,
is there
any difference between the male and female, or the pattern is very similar?
I think men and women, there are a lot of differences, right? Physiologically, now science has shown us, our brains are different. Not to overgeneralize, but the way we think, the way we process things is somewhat different in terms of the genders. So first of all, we work with men and women. We work with men and women from their 20s to like 60s plus, okay? All different ages, all different stages, all different religions, all different everything. But there are some gender differences that I think, I mean, and and we can get into that. But yeah, I believe men and women, there are gender differences there. I think at the end of the day, we all want, people who come to us, they want this idea of, I want someone who's going to journey the ups and downs through life with me. I want someone who has my back. That is shared, I think, by men and women. They both articulate that. And there are other commonalities. Both men and women seem to want someone really comfortable in their own skin, okay? And that's a big one, right? Because, comfortable in your own skin. I think all of these are sort of life skills that help you, they translate well to life in general anyways, but comfortable in your own skin, intelligence, kindness, these all rise to the top for both men and women.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the market size.
Sure.
And also the changes in the generations.
Okay.
So I remember the first generation Indians who came here, probably they wanted their kids to go back to India, get married with a similar caste system, religion and all.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, they preferred to find somebody from the similar background here. Now, in the last 10, 15 years, that generation has completely changed. Now, kids who are born here, they think independently. They want to do things on their own terms. So, how this the demographic changes and the trends is changing the dating or matchmaking scene in the Indian context in the United States?
So one, I think that there are a lot of people who are choosing not to opt into arranged marriages. Okay, that's why service like ours, right, has an appeal for people. For those people for whom arranged marriage is not kind of
the
route
have
they want to take.
any number or data that of today, whatever the
Right.
marriages are taking place in the United States, of Indians I'm talking
Sure.
about, how many are arranged and how many are?
I actually don't have that data.
But
I can easily probably find it, but I don't have it at my fingertips. Because you have to understand, for us, the market is not, the people who are seeking arranged marriage, that's not our market.
Sure.
So truly, and we have plenty of people in our market, so it's not something that we're terribly concerned about. Because clearly, and I get calls, right? I get calls. I had a call. I'm going to give you an example of a call I got that might get paid. So I got a call from a mother, and we get calls from the people who are looking for partners, as well as their parents, their siblings, right? And we're a very family-centric culture. So I get calls from everyone, and I'm happy to speak with anyone at that initial inquiry stage as to what we do and how we work and how we do things. So this was actually a parent, a mother who calls. And so I could tell that our paradigm was probably not a fit for her. And I could tell by the questions she was asking in the sense of our process. Let me just take a minute for our process,
Sure.
okay? So our starting point is what we call a Reinvent Your Love Life assessment, okay? This assessment takes about 90 minutes, and we go out into depth and breadth with respect to background on multiple levels. It's education, it's dating relationship history, it's family history, it's so much, right? And then we go into things about one's values, one's priorities, all of this, tangibles, intangibles, all of this is on the table. Okay, that gives me enough information about that person to know, is this person a good fit for our service? Is this someone who we can help? And if so, how can we best help? Because we have those different services, right? How can we best help this person? So that is a starting point. Now, going back to this phone call. So that, the mother was asking me, so she thought, well, why do you need to talk to my, child who is going to be looking to my kid who is looking for a partner? You just talk to me. But no, that's, we like to do things traditionally. We like our families to meet, at the outset. And so immediately, these kind of things, probably we're not a fit because for us, we are a family-centered culture. Certainly this is a union of two families as well as two individuals. I completely appreciate that. But for us, we do start with the individuals because I do feel like if there is the compatibility between individuals is what is going to sustain. It is what is going to sustain or not sustain. Family is going to make it easier or harder depending on that. But the two people have to be on the same page with respect to certain things, in my opinion.
Now, what about also we have seen in the last 5-6 years
Sure.
a phenomenal growth in interracial marriages.
Okay.
And do you see that trend on your dating site, or do you also deal?
Sure. So
also?
for our personalized matchmaking.
Yes.
Yeah. So because I just want to distinguish that because sometimes people get confused with the dating sites, and we are not a dating site. We're personalized matchmaking, and we help people with their
thanks for
dating. And I'm just going
clarifying.
to clarify just in case the audience is
Sure.
getting confused. So back to your question in terms of interracial. You mean Indian non-Indian
Non-Indian,
pairings,
yes,
probably?
yes, yes.
Okay. So we work with clients. Our clients are predominantly Indian, South Asian background. Some of them are exclusively looking for other Indians or other South Asians. Some of them only Indians or South Asians of a similar religion or what have you, in terms of that region of India. And that's one end of the spectrum. Other end of the spectrum, the people we're working with are Indian, South Asian, and they're very open to being with non-Indians, non-South Asians. So we are matching our clients. We really are looking at what is important to the client, and we're matching. So as we're introducing, one Hindu to another Hindu, we're also introducing an Indian to a non-Indian when that is a preference or the openness of that client. So it's, so we do work with people who are interested in both. So
have you ever received any request that, I'm an Indian,
yeah,
but I don't want to marry an Indian?
Sure. We have people who say, I'm Indian, or more common of what we get is, I'm Indian and I'm open to non-Indian. So it's not, once in a while we get the, I prefer a non-Indian, we do get that, but more commonly it's, I'm Indian, I'm open to Indians, I'm open to non-Indians.
What about
That's
religion?
more common.
Does it?
Sure. Now, religion is something that I always say, religion in and of itself, you tell me you're Sikh, you're Hindu, you're Muslim, that doesn't tell me, that tells me some, but it doesn't tell me enough. Now I want to know, how does that, how does that religion play in for you? So for one person, they might be a Hindu, they might go to temple every week. They might be doing puja every day. Another person might festivals only, and they're not very religious, I'm more spiritual. So there's a wide continuum, and I think one of the pitfalls for us as Indians, and everybody, not just Indians, tends to be overgeneralizing. Oh, well, if you're a Hindu, I'm Hindu. Clearly, we will see things, we will have a similar worldviews about this and that, and I don't believe that bears out at all, because I think there's a whole continuum.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I think there's a whole continuum. And so what we do is, religion definitely comes up with our assessments. One, we find out what religion, not only someone has, self-characterizes, what family, their family of origin, right? Because it's possible that someone is, I'm not religious, I'm agnostic, but then I do like to see what is their family too, because that could be relevant. And also a lot of us, as we go older, see, it's one thing what we're saying now, and then when we have kids, sometimes we think a bit differently about things.
What about,
so I like to put all that.
What about regions? North Indian versus South Asian?
And for some people,
South
again,
Indian,
sure. And for some people, I'm North Indian. I'm Punjabi. I'm only interested in Punjabis. And for others, anyone from the Indian subcontinent, or so it's variable. People are different in terms of their preferences in that regard. And I think this idea of, if we are from the very same region in India, the same village in India, the same religion, we will clearly match up. I think that doesn't resonate as much with the people who gravitate to ours. We like to go a bit deeper, because I think you can have two people in this very same family who have different views about things, and because of that, I think it's more important to get to know the people as individuals, not assume too many things based on these other.
Now, another touchy subject, we now see that
Sure.
we are seeing a rise in the divorce
Sure.
in the
Sure.
in the Indian community
Sure.
and South Asian community, and after a divorce, people are coming back. They're living longer. They want a companion.
Yeah.
Do you see any growing demand from that, like people in 50s, 60s?
Sure. Well, as mentioned, we serve clients in their 20s on up. So we do work with people, whether it's widowed or divorced, right? People seeking a companion. And for some people, they're being a little bit there's in terms of the widow, previous the cultural reasons that people, sometimes don't seek another companion after that. But we are seeing people they're saying, what, like you said, I have the rest of my life. I do want a companion. I do want that. So we do work with people, and we do see people who are looking for a second chance of love. Absolutely.
So now,
yeah.
I want to talk about two other things.
Okay.
One is that the process, for example. Say
Okay.
I'm a single, and I'm in my early 20s.
Okay.
And I want to use your services.
Sure.
So what I need to do, what is the process, how you
Great
work?
question. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the number one.
Sure.
And then let's talk about that.
Start there. Okay. So the first step is the assessment. Okay. So that's where I would talk with you. So you're the 20. I would talk with you. And because we are operating in North America wide, it would be a phone conversation that you and I would have. It would take about 90 minutes. I would learn a lot about you, about the way you think, about what's important to you, from you, not from your family, not from anyone else, but from you. I would learn about any experience you have with dating and relationships, anything that hasn't worked for you in the past. I would learn all of that. And then after that, we would schedule a follow-up call where I would digest everything I learned about you and I would formulate a plan of action, okay, to get you from where you are to where you want to go. So I would decide, given everything, is this person the best, is personalized matchmaking the best fit for this person? Should we also add the online dating support strategy to that? Should we make a blend of both? How is it best to work with this person? Or do we feel like this person, is this person a good fit for our services, right? So that, and assuming the person's a good fit, and then we have a follow-up call where I walk them through the plan of action. Most people have never seen anything like this before, right?
Sure.
This, our culture we're going from arranged marriage. Now this is something quite different. So I walk them through and I just address any questions they might have about the process. A common question we get about the process is, okay, so you're telling me you're going to make one-to-one matches for me. Great, I can sit back and get these one-to-one matches, but remind me, where are they coming from, right? That's a very common question we get. So the answer to that is, going back to my analogy of a headhunter recruiter for one's love life, okay? When you have a company, right, you are the board of directors, let's say, is looking to replace their C-level suite. Let's say their CEO, okay? So let's say this company is rather large, their scope is there. They're not going to typically won't only look for sort of internal candidates, whoever's right there. They're going to do a wide sweep,
Sure.
okay? They're going to do a wide sweep, and it's going to be a very deliberate one, where they are going to tap into the kind of the best of the best to fill their role. And they're going to, bring in those people. They're going to search for them. They're going to screen them. They're going to, they're going to do the interview if it makes sense, kind of thing. So for us, our avenues that we use is we have a proprietary database which is filled with singles. We can go in later in terms of how they get there, but singles, men and women, all different ages, largely South Asian, not exclusively South Asian. We have a lot of non-Indians as well, and Indians. Throughout North America.
Now I have to
yeah.
just something popped up in
Sure,
my head.
sure.
Do you also get requests from non-Indians to marry Indians?
We do.
We do.
And we do get that on a case-by-case basis, right? We ask the question, right, why? Like, what is this? Is this an idea of what an Indian is, or what is behind that, right? But certainly, and like I mentioned, we have Indians who are very open to non-Indians,
Sure.
so that could actually be a fit for that person. So we do have non-Indians in our database as well. So that's our proprietary database. Then we have a broader network of our people who are married. They're coupled up. They're great sources of matches for our clients. Because as you know, we all have, a lot of us marrieds have single friends, relatives, co-workers, right? So the great sources. So we have a larger, broader outreach. Then we run outreach in publications, online print publications, where we run the outreach for our clients. And that could vary, your publication is one we've said, and we, like a very mainstream kind of Harvard alumni publication to like a literary magazine in California aimed at the South Asian demographic. So a wide variety of avenues we use depending on the search we're doing. And then in addition to that, we have scouts who are people who they are either attending events in their home cities, so they might be attending a charity fundraiser or a gala, like a large scale, right, a formal event, or a smaller, more intimate kind of a happy hour for their like alumni happy hour. Some of them are just canvassing their inner circles via their dinner parties, their house parties. And some of them are doing social media, Facebook, LinkedIn. The whole idea is via tapping into people who would be great fits for our clients, using all these different...
So I call you and then you interview me and we agree
Sure.
that, okay, I'm going to work with you. How it brings the cost, how the cost is structured?
The cost is, we custom tailor. We custom tailor the plans, so we custom tailor the price falls accordingly. I will say we are a high-end service. We are, and so... I can tell you kind of a start. We don't have a ceiling for our
Sure.
personalized matchmaking just because...
Give an idea.
There's no ceiling, but I will say it starts at, so I'll say the floor. So our personalized matchmaking, I'll say starts at about $8,500 and it goes up from there. And more typically, it's higher than that. That's our kind of low starting point.
So 8,500 is the low starting point.
That's a starting point, right. So this is a premium service. This is for people who are serious, right? This is for people who are, I'm investing in my search at this point, right? This is not casually dating. Now, to answer your question, in terms of the online dating support strategy, that is something where we recognize not everyone is in a position to invest in our services, but they want proactive services. What they're doing is not working, and they realize that the passage of time is not helping them, right? Because you can't, here's the thing, you can replenish money. We all can, okay? We all can replenish money. None of us No matter how much money we have, none of us can replenish time.
Mhm.
Okay?
Sure.
So that is something that our clients, I think, very much have in the forefront. I've always had that in my forefront in terms of it's just an idea that we have a limited amount of time. And time is more valuable than money. I tell that to our kids all the time. What's more valuable, time or money? They're like, time. Time is more valuable. So that is why the people who are going to invest are going to invest, because they recognize that. But we also have the online dating support strategy where, again, it's personalized attention with respect to your online dating efforts, but that we're not using all the avenues I mentioned before. We're exclusively using the Shadis and Match.coms, the online dating sites. So for those, they start at about $4,500. So it's a different kind of starting price point.
Sure.
But we really do custom tailor that to the particular client. So it's not a one size. It's not like every 30-year-old who comes to us who's a male 30-year-old physician in New England is going to be getting this price. That's not what it's about. Because that I can have two physicians, male physicians, let's say in Boston, very different mindsets, very different flexibilities, very different experiences, very different expectations. Their plans will be completely different. So it doesn't matter that just on face, their biodata looks very similar.
Jasbina, thank you very much for coming to our studio.
Sure,
And it
it's my
was really
pleasure.
fun talking with you.